Last but not least, I would like to touch on one more element of institution building, to build a broad stakeholder base for the institution. While the Minister of Finance, Incorporated, is our formal and legal shareholder, we recognize that the ultimate shareholders of Temasek are the past, present, and future generations of Singapore. As Temasek continues to engage and invest in Asia, we also recognize the wider community in Asia as part of our stakeholder base. Temasek succeeds because of friends and supporters all over the world. It is in our long-term interest to contribute steadily to a prospering Asia, a vibrant Singapore, and a peaceful world. It is in this context that we set up Temasek Foundation and Temasek Cares to add substance to our engagement with the wider community. But we also recognize that the business of community engagement is very different from managing money and making investments. Our expertise is not community engagement, though we have a strong culture of staff volunteerism. We have been very privileged to have the support of independent, capable, and experienced community and business leaders from Singapore and from all over Asia to help evaluate and drive these engagements within Singapore and across Asia. We also set up Temasek Trust 2 years ago. Governed by a highly distinguished board of trustees, the trust looks after the donated funds. For every year of positive wealth added since 2003, we had committed to set aside a portion for the community. Funding for Temasek Trust comes from these provisions for the community. In turn, the trustees will determine how and when they will distribute the funds to the various approved non-profit units. The Temasek Trust and our various non-profit philanthropic organizations reaffirm our commitment as a corporate citizen to support the continued progress and success of Asia and her people. More than that, we have created one more group of stakeholders who will be tracking the performance of Temasek closely, benefiting both from Temasek's success and contributing to the larger community by sharing that success. Over the long term, we are exploring the feasibility of creating one more group of stakeholders. We can do this by inviting the public to co-invest with Temasek. We hope to start this by piloting the relevant structures and rules of engagement with Temasek and other sophisticated co-investors. It is important to test this over at least one market cycle during the next 5 to 8 years. If this pilot is successful, we may then consider a co-investment platform for retail investors in perhaps 8 to 10 years' time. This will add to our stakeholder base, from shareholder and bondholders to the boards and employees of Temasek and our portfolio companies, from Temasek Trust and the non-profit units to our co-investors. A broad base of stakeholders will be part of our ecology for discipline and for performance in the decades ahead.